It's time. It's time for Marquis Reacts. Part of that show where Marquis looks at a few YouTube videos, gives his advice, his reaction, his thoughts. Marquis Reacts.
I'm going to work every single contingency with my game on every angle, every court, tired. So I started running from the full court all the way into my threes because that's what happens in the game. So you figure all these guys running in transition, they come in and they shoot a three, and it's like you're actually shooting the shot that you don't practice. You know, full court running, deep sprint, there's 7 seconds on the clock and you got to get to your lift and you got to shoot that ball and there's a 7-footer running out at you. What is your lift going to look like? You got to practice that. That right there, if I walk in the gym and see somebody shooting like that, I'm like, this kid right here, he's going to be problems because he gets it. But I walk in the gym a lot, including kids I coach, and I watch them jump that high when we're going through shooting drills. And then when the game starts and we do practice, you see them jump higher. And I said, now you miss. They shoot the ball over the rim because now you're shooting at a different release point. I'm going to.
Yeah, like I said, how you practice is how you play. And I think a lot of, for me personally, again, like it was so important for me to emulate those game reps in practice because, yeah, when the game came, I was ready. You know, I felt like, I've already shot this shot like a million times already. You know, I had the confidence that I can shoot it and make it in those situations because of the reps that I did in practice. And as you said, like doing those reps tired is like the most important part. I remember like my coach growing up, Coach Greer, when we would work out, you know, we would do certain shots and say we're doing 10, you know, we're like sprint, backpedal to half court, sprint, and I'll bounce past you, finish the layup. You know, if we're doing 10 of those, once you hit about number 5 or 6, you're already tired. Like you started to hit that wall. You're starting to feel fatigue. And I always remember him telling me like, okay, now these are the ones that count. Like, you know, the 7, 8, 9, 10, when you are tired, these are the reps that are actually going to count. Like if you make them or miss or how your footwork is going to be on these shots. Because again, in a game, you're going to be fatigued. You know, you're going to be, you know, you have to do so many things in a game, you know, in a workout situation, like you're just working on that specific shot, you know, you're just running in, shooting that one shot. But again, in a game, you go from, you know, from rebounding, you know, from being in help side position to now I got to close out. Now I got to slide. I got to box out, you know. Now I have to, from that box out, we get the rebound. Now I have to sprint the court. And now I got to come off that action that I'm going to shoot that one shot that I'm repping out. So again, you have to like, yeah, you got to condition yourself to be able to deal with that. And I see like a lot of players who miss shots in the game, especially they miss certain open shots. Again, it's because their legs are not there. You know, their conditioning is not there because their practice habits, they shoot their shots as if no one is ever going to be running at them, or they're never going to be running, like shooting a shot after, like I said, making a couple of defensive plays and then running and then finally getting their shot. But yeah, it's so important that you really push yourself to game speed on your reps. Because again, like once you get into the game, now it just feels natural. Now it feels like, oh yeah, I have the confidence. When I do feel tired, I feel like, yeah, when I feel tired, that's when I know I actually get more settled, you know, like, you know, when you hit that second wind or again, you find your rhythm in your legs once you kind of push through that initial like fatigue.
when a girl makes a shot. If they're not jumping up and down and celebrating and they're not like in the game, that's being a good teammate. I tell them all the time, I can see a lot about how you respond to everybody else. When I take you out of a game and you come out of a game and you shrug your shoulders, like, really? You should walk to the bench and now you should cheer on your teammates. That's stuff that's got to be coached. Steph Curry said this on the video. It's the coolest thing ever. The weakest thing in basketball is sticking your hands up in the air and standing off like passing the ball. It's the weakest move in basketball because you can do 80,000 other things. You can cut, you can screen, you can relocate, you can move, you can go get an offensive rebound, you can cut back up. He said that's the weakest move in basketball. And I was like, amen. It's the bench when a girl makes.
Man, yeah, we can't say it enough. Like, being a good teammate goes a long way. And again, and this is what coaches pay attention to. This is what coaches focus on. And I think a lot of players, young players, the earlier that you learn this, the better, you know. If not, then again, it just becomes, you just continue to receive the criticism for having bad body language, being a poor teammate, and then eventually that's just going to cut out your opportunities because people don't, like, coaches don't want to continue to teach that character side, you know. We understand the passion and frustration and things like that, but again, there's still discipline that needs to be displayed. And again, there's, in a team situation, there's sacrifice. To the next point where he's talking about, you know, someone just standing there, like, just hands up, not moving off the ball because they just want the ball. Again, it's just poor character. It's selfish because, again, it's like, it's a me. Like, I want me. But again, the game of basketball is, you know, there's other things going on the court. So while you're thinking me, why didn't you give me the ball? You're just sitting there like clogging up traffic. You're just sitting there like not helping anything. You know, you're not creating an opportunity for yourself or me right now because you're just sitting here. Obviously, I haven't gave you the ball right now. So again, the game of basketball, you need to continue. Like, it's actions on top of actions on top of actions on top of actions. So you can't, like, just sit there and just soak in your own pity, you know, if you don't get the